All right, Rob. The Rams celebrated, and we talked about it. You made some jokes. They celebrated their parade today, and they are getting roasted on social media because people are talking about how, few people attended their parade. And let's look, it's not like nobody's there. All right, there are a decent number of people there, but we've seen the estimate, Rob, in 2015 Chicago Cubs, 5 million fans.
5 million people on the streets.
As an estimate. The Lakers in 2010, the estimate was 2 million.
Wow.
So I don't know what yet the estimate of this is.
It ain't in the millions, I'll tell you that.
No, and props to Hollywood. You saw the Hollywood sign was changed to Rams House.
Yep.
So they're getting some love. I don't want the players, and I would say this about anything team. I'm not like a Rams fan or anything. But the players should be celebrated. Rob, one thing I sometimes feel like in today's society is that we don't step back and take time to celebrate the champions. And I'm not talking about
you
being
said this
you know what I mean?
What did you say? You said this about one of the baseball was that?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah. I mean,
doesn't it seem like we're just on to the next one?
Right.
We got power rankings already for next season and free agency and, who's going here, who's going there. Let's celebrate the champion and let them bask for a little while. That's all I'm saying. I mean, right? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I get it. And Chris, this day and age where everything is, in the old days, there would be just a little footage of it. You wouldn't see it over. You got social media. People are streaming it live, and they see the spaces and the wide shots of it, Chris. You're like, where are the people? Now I was down there in that area because it's right near USC, the Coliseum, right? So a lot of the students.
Was it a lot of people down there? Was it a traffic jam? Did you, did you notice anything different?
No, I mean, there was some traffic, but not crazy where you couldn't get around. And some of the students asked me, I was in the newsroom, Chris, and some of them were like, should I go over? Because they could walk there from campus, right? You could just walk there. And I was like, yeah, I think you should go. I said, parades don't happen every day. These are young kids in there. They're 19 and 20, Chris. Right? So the last parade.
Look, out there, the weather's terrific. Why
and I'm like,
if you're
in LA. This is like an experience happening. You should take part in it. Chris and I have covered parades in New York. Just ticker tape and millions of people on the street, and you're going down Broadway, Chris. It's phenomenal. Am I right?
Yep.
It's phenomenal.
I covered the Yankees World Series in '98. Wasn't it '98 when they won?
Yep. They won in '98.
The Canyon of Heroes. And I had just gotten to New York. I just started working for the New York Times.
When that paper starts coming down from the buildings or whatever, it is incredible. So I think you should, but today's was disappointing. And not only that, we talked about the numbers of the Super Bowl, Chris. LA wasn't even in the top 10 of viewership for individual cities. That's incredible to me.
Look, and that's why I think even this parade, and now the Lakers are a different story because they're such an institution.
Right.
In
and
LA,
the Dodgers
right?
too.
And the Dodgers, exactly. But some of this was just LA. I mean, let's just keep it real. The Rams, and we were talking, who were we talking with about this last week, Rob? The Rams, when I was a kid growing up in the Midwest, the Rams were the LA Rams. And I associated them with LA. I actually liked them. They weren't my favorite team, but I did like them from afar. And I don't know why LA doesn't embrace the Rams. They embrace the Raiders more than the Rams. Why?
This is a Raiders town, Chris.
Right.
They love
why?
the Raiders.
I don't understand why. I'm sorry, Rob. I don't understand. I don't know why. Why wouldn't you like the Rams if you're in LA? I get it why the Chargers don't have much of a following. Okay, they're in San Diego, all that. You got another team, but I don't get why you wouldn't be all up into the Rams.
Yeah, I agree from this. I understand the Chargers. Right. I do understand the Chargers because they're not from here. They don't have a history. The Rams were originally from L.A., and even though they went to St. Louis, Chris, they're an L.A. team.
Right.
And so it is strange that people, and the Raiders had their own history in Oakland. We talked about it before.
I think of the Raiders as Oakland. If I think of them as Oakland. More than Oakland. I don't think of them as L.A. Obviously not yet Vegas. I mean, that'll come over time. But I think of them as the Oakland Raiders, Rob.
And Chris, we got some numbers. So they're saying the L.A. Kings had 300,000 fans for their parade in 2014. Obviously, there's a pandemic.
That's not a huge amount.
No, but 300,000. So based on the pictures, like, when they try to look and compare, they think that the Rams had less than 100,000. That's how small it was, numbers-wise. So that's a small number for a city of this size. Still, it's a middle of the week. It doesn't matter. Parade is a parade when a team wins a championship. So that's strange. But I wonder, Chris, I do want to ask, is it the pandemic? Is it that they're new back to L.A., and I'm talking about the Rams or whatever, or is it that parades are passé? Do people still go to the Thanksgiving Day parade? Do fans still enjoy parades, being in crowds? Or have we been desensitized from them, Chris, or because of the last 2 years and what, you know what I mean? Like, people don't want to take their mask down. Do you want to be in a big crowd like that? Does that keep people away?
Well, LA is one of the more stringent places when it comes to. I think that has a lot to do with it.
Because when you go to a restaurant, you got to have your papers, Chris. I'm going to a restaurant tonight. You got to have your papers.
And look, I'm really not that. I just really have not been very concerned about COVID. I mean, I've done my due diligence. I've got vaccinated.
Done what you're supposed to do,
right. I've been boosted, all that. I wear my mask when I need to. But I'm really not afraid, concerned, thinking about it at all, really. But my wife, on the other hand,
I've been all over the country.
Right. And I haven't gotten it, and you haven't gotten it.
No.
But my wife, on the other hand, she's not like paranoid to death where she's not doing anything, but she is more concerned about it than me. And she would not, Rob, like if I wanted to go to the parade, she wouldn't go. I don't think she'd have put herself in that position.
Right. That's what I'm saying. There's some people
So I do think there's a lot of people like that. So I think that I'm going to go with that. I think that has something to do with it. I think the fact that the Rams aren't wildly popular has something to do with it.
They're definitely the stepchild in L.A. Yeah. Would you agree with that?
No question. But I do think the pandemic as well, Rob, does have something to do with it.
How about a parade? Is a parade, Chris, in general, passé or no? Fans still want to be able to experience it with their team. Because that's what I really would like to hear. If you could go,
I'm surprised you're asking that. Because I don't even think it's close to passé.
Okay.
Because again, I think a lot of other cities prove that point, right? They get millions.
The Braves had a big one,
thousands.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think smaller cities like Cleveland, I don't know what the numbers were. They said over 1 million, maybe 1.2 million.
And that's huge for a city that size, Chris.
Greater Cleveland's like 2 million people.
Right.
A little over 2 million.
So to get half the people.
1.2.
Wow.
Yes, more than half the people in greater Cleveland attended the Cavs parade in 2016. So it's going to be different in smaller cities versus bigger cities, particularly bigger cities like in LA or Miami, where there's so much other stuff to do, beaches and all that. But no, I don't think, Rob, that in any way
so it's passé.
Do you?
I don't know. I don't know, like the younger generation, Chris, those were traditional things. Like as we get older, there are kids who are 20 who have never been to a parade or whatever. I don't know that. Like the college.
I've never been to, other than covering the Yankees one.
Covering a parade, right. I've always covered it too. I never went to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. Maybe as a kid, I don't remember. I can't say I never went. My parents might have taken me once or twice. I can't say that. But as an adult, I'm with you. I don't go to parades, and maybe because of the business and what we do. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's why I don't go. But I've been to. I went when the Pistons won the championship in 2004. Chris, it was incredible downtown Detroit. Incredible.
I bet it was nuts. Yeah.
It was nuts, and the parade route down Woodward Avenue was just an incredible spectacle to see, and people going crazy for that team. And the Red Wings have won Stanley Cups. I've been to parades for them, so I've been to a number of parades. But this one was disappointing. I was shocked at how small it was.
Well, I'm going to say this, Rob. I don't know if you heard this yet, but Sean McVay and Aaron Donald, who both of whom have been – McVay himself said he's not sure if he's coming back.
Right.
And Donald, other people said he told them, Rodney Harrison, right? He told him he might not be back before the Super Bowl. They both at the parade, did you hear what they said, Rob?
No. What they say?
They both were saying run it back. Both of them.
Okay.
McVay and Donald, run it back, run it back. They were leading the cheers. So I always thought they both would be back. I thought Donald, I definitely think Donald is more about let me get paid, right? And I don't blame him. I mean, he's one of the best to ever do it. You deliver the Super Bowl, get your money. McVay, Rob, we were talking about this on First Things First. And you know this, you've covered the NFL. I've read stories about it, heard coaches talk about it. Eric Mangini, who was on the show with us, we were talking about McVay because, there's talk, Rob, he could step away, be a broadcaster, and make $10 million a year. And not have the stress and the strain.
Tony Romo $17 million. Then.
Right. And not have the stress and the strain of coaching a team, of, having the criticism that you get and all that stuff.
It's a lot of work.
And I asked Mangini what his schedule was like when he coached, the head coach. And he said he would get in or 6 or 6:30 in the morning in the office at the practice facility and leave at 1 or 2 a.m., 1:30, 2 a.m. in the morning. Think about that. You're only home for like 4 hours.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And he said he came up under Belichick. That's what he saw, right? So Belichick came up under Parcells. Parcells was, did that. Belichick learned that way. So Mangini learned that way. But Rob, I'm just saying, if that's the case, and I know that's not true with every coach, but let's say it's 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., which is a huge difference from 1 a.m. Rob, if I'm Sean McVay, I would seriously be looking at a broadcast job. His legacy is tremendous, and I think he would come back later. And he'd be able to because, what he's done in these 5 years.
Gruden did it.
Right.
Like Gruden did it. Right.
Wouldn't you think that makes – and no matter how much you love your job, my goodness.
No, it's quality of life.
Yes.
It's off season, Chris, right? Where there's no football, you got an off season.
But for coaches, though, there's very little.
I'm talking about broadcaster.
Right.
Like if you're just doing football season, then you got it's only football season's 4 months a year.
Oh gosh. Rob, there's no question.
Right. It's totally different. So
17 weeks?
Exactly. That's what it is. And so it would change and you would get a lot of money. You don't have the stress. And all you got to do is know the game, which you already know. So you're already at an advantage. And
you just got to make sure you know the players. And
exactly.
up
and be colorful and have something to say. And you'll keep that job for a long time.